good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Prep Your Heart, children of God, and that's you, and that's you, and that's me, and that's me, and that's hippos and hippos, all of me. You haven't seen them this week, but maybe we'll try at the end, because he's going to probably bother me. This may get pulled down because I'm going to use an old rhythm to another song. Maybe I need to change the rhythm. I don't think the actual original song is, I don't know the context of the meaning. I just know that the Rolling Stones have done it. Maybe some other people have done it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to have to change the rhythm just enough. But it's the one about play with fire or whatever. Don't play with me, play with fire. This is dedicated to everyone that's really trying to stay in the good with Jesus and not follow the agendas and the organized crime. And if you have been on the dark side for a while, don't listen to the devil, because he'll tell you that Jesus won't love you. He loves you no matter what. People get saved in prison all the time. Murderers get saved all the time. All the bad guys and girls get saved all the time. So why don't you be one of the children that gets saved all the time? I shouldn't be saved. I had about a year or two there in my life, early on in my 20s, that I should have went to prison. So, because I was followed by the cops all the time, and I started falling to pieces. And I chose the wrong path. And God didn't have to save me. He didn't have to fix some of that stuff. Some of the stuff needed to be fixed more, but my only physical witness passed away about 2 years later. A semi hit their van, and he was instantly dead. And I've told the story before. I was just back in town to only be a short spell to get his testimony again, because he technically had went down to the jail for over a week every day. Tried to give them written testimonies. The police used too much force on me. And even if I was saying stuff like, why don't you go do some real crime, instead of following my ass around, and he started beating me up. So my friend kept taking testimony down. It was 2002, September, early September, first week of September. 2 or 3 of them were always around that time. They were at my apartment or near, or following me home. Anyhow. So this is Don't Play with Fire. So this is going to be dedicated to God's children who are really trying to fight the good fight with Jesus. But with Jesus, not just out blowing stuff up like a bunch of lunatics. I'm not going to get into what I think they're going to have to do to get this border thing in order, because it looks like it's going haywire. So I've discussed my thoughts on it before. We let it go on for 30 years. Probably didn't know who we were letting come here. And we were nice and gracious to let everyone over here, and now look what happened. Let everyone be whoever they wanted to be, and now look what's happened. They wouldn't leave the kids alone and stuff like that. So there's even the gay community, not the T groups and the I, whatever the other bizarros is going on. And even they are like saying, go back in the closet. Now I've heard more than one. And like, they even know that it's gone too far and they need to leave the kids alone. And so that's where we are. You know, I feel like I'm not going to be able to do the song, and I'm going to end up doing it too much like the Rolling Stones, and then it's going to get taken down. Because I don't even know all the words, so I'm going to try to just make up words as I go along, and they may not go right. I'm just going to try to keep the one chorus similar, so it kind of keeps me on track. So it starts out more like a storyline, but I'm probably just going to dive right into the chorus. So, like I said, this is dedicated to those still really trying to follow Jesus and find more of Jesus' truth every day. Even if it's just this much, and some days it's a bunch, and then other days maybe you forget, but we don't want to forget any which day. So even if we can only muster out a little time, and that's pathetic, because we should always be able to muster out time for Jesus. You just stay fixated on him. Morning, noon, and night, just go about your business, do your day, and you just always stay fixated on Jesus. That's the one thing you should stay fixated out. Outside of everything else you may struggle with, at least stay fixated on Jesus' strength and power and saving grace and what your job is before you die. What mark do you want to make on the earth before you die? Do you want your mark to be that you were a horrible, 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 just evil person? Is that the mark that you want to make on this life of yours? Or do you want to make a mark that says, I really tried to follow Jesus? I think probably I may have really messed it up 90% of the time. I'm speaking for myself even, but I really tried. And he knows I tried because he heard my cries and he saw my tears and he saw that I was in anguish when I just didn't understand what the fuck was going on. So, all right, here we go. But now hip's bugging me, so I don't know how this is gonna go. Don't play with God's children, 'cause you play with his fire. Don't mess with us, 'cause you mess with God's fire. Did your mother, father not just teach you decent humanness? Did you come from the straight pits of hell, from before your birth until now? Well, please don't play with God's children no more. Please don't play with God's children no more. Do you want to meet God's fire quicker than you needed to be? Did you want your entire life heaping up your flame so high? So when you take your last breath here, you're immediately asphyxiated from the flames, the very ones you created yourself. Don't even try this blame game, 'cause you played with God for far too long. You mocked God's life and his death so wrong. You don't own a thing, that's not the green agenda, my friend. You don't own a fucking thing. All you own is your caves in hell. So stop playing with God, 'cause you're burning in hell.